Welcome back to From the Pages, and hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell because today we dive headfirst into the March 1989 issue of Inside Wrestling, a magazine exploding with the chaotic electricity of a wrestling world transforming before our eyes as territories crumble, new stars ascend, legends fight for survival, and the entire industry teeters between old school grit and late 80s spectacle. And the issue begins, as always, with a barrage of classic ads, mail order posters of glistening champions, fold out pinups, hotline banners, back issue catalogs, photo clubs, cassette music compilations, muscle building manuals, and garish neon merchandise spreads, plastered with that unmistakable Western publishing aesthetic that defined wrestling magazines of the era. And after the ad avalanche, we open on Sincerely Yours on page 6, where fans unleash their passion, their frustrations, their praise, their corrections, and their emotional investment in every feud, every championship shift, every controversial storyline, including letters demanding honesty, wrestling bans, deeper coverage, and personal accountability from the promotions themselves. And then page 8 brings Stu Saks' editor's notebook, imagining the wild, industry-shaking alternate reality where both versions of the Midnight Express, Cornettes and Dangerously's, unite rather than collide, a fantasy booking scenario that underscores how intensely the tag team scene of 1989 was evolving. And on page 10, behind the dressing room door, takes David Rosenbaum on a bizarre quest through Queens in search of the ultimate warrior, encountering colorful characters, rumors, wild goose chases, and the frantic energy surrounding the warrior's aura as his star continues to rise, blending backstage mystery with Rosenbaum's trademark storytelling. And from there, page 12 finds Craig Peters on the road pondering whether Bam Bam Bigelow, flaming skull-tattooed monster, agile giant, locker room curiosity, might become the next member of the Four Horsemen, a question that hangs in the air as Peters recounts the reactions, politics, and possibilities surrounding such a wild idea. And page 14 brings Bill Apter's Names Making News, the monthly snapshot of everything shaking the industry as of press time, from injuries to returns, from contract shifts to surprise pushes, from locker room whispers to nationally televised momentum swings. And page 16 features Eddie Ellner in full contrarian form in The Insider, analyzing the WWF's rapid expansion across markets and questioning whether the growth is substantive or merely loud, posing the uncomfortable question of whether growing outward means growing upward. And then page 18 sends Liz Hunter on assignment to profile a rejuvenated Don Muraco who looks toward the future with renewed focus, new training priorities, and a hunger to reclaim prominence, revealing a star who refuses to fade despite the business's changing landscape. And page 20 continues the human interest approach with Where Are They Now?, delivering life updates on four major stars whose careers once burnished the wrestling world only to fade from sight, capturing how retirement, injury, or reinvention reshapes the men behind the personas. Followed on page 21 by Capsule Profile number 152, a tight biographical snapshot and pinup of a young Jeff Jarrett, chronicling his early family-driven path into the business, his athletic promise, and his future trajectory before the world learned just how far Double J would rise. And then page 24 launches news from the wrestling capitals, the classic multi-territory roundup, presenting eyewitness match reports from arenas across the country, detailing brawls, betrayals, title changes, blood feuds, surprise run-ins, emotional victories, and regional storylines that fans outside those cities would never otherwise see, bringing the fragmented wrestling map of 1989 vividly to life. And Matt Brock returns on page 26 with Plain Speaking, dissecting the state of the industry with gruff authority as he tackles issues of survival, snakes, literal and metaphorical, and the sudden rise of superstars transforming the business faster than promoters can react, delivering a column both cranky and perceptive in classic Brock fashion. And then the feature section ignites on page 29 with Beaten by His Own Hand. Will the claw hold destroy Kevin Von Erich? Exploring whether Kevin's iconic finishing maneuver has begun to backfire, as a Japanese master targets him for destruction by attempting to outclaw the claw, turning Kevin's greatest strength into a potential Achilles heel and escalating pressure on the already battle-scarred. Von Erich legacy, and from there, page 32 delivers the Kurt Hennig story, Mr. Perfect's not-so-perfect past and present, a sweeping career chronicle detailing Hennig's struggles, setbacks, and reinventions on his way to becoming the polished WWF rule-breaker fans now know, revealing that perfection was earned through years of imperfection, adversity, and relentless ambition. And then page 34 detonates Collision Course, Wrestling Isn't Big Enough for Two Midnight Express Teams, chronicling the explosive rivalry between Paul E. Dangerously's version and Jim Cornette's version as both stables barrel toward each other with grudges, ego, strategy, and flawless tag team chemistry, setting up a confrontation the entire industry is watching. And page 36 escalates further with quick victory, slow torture, Ultimate Warrior's plan to punish Honky Tonk Man, revisiting Warrior's lightning-fast victory for the Intercontinental title, and revealing that he is not satisfied with merely defeating Honky, but intends to exact drawn-out psychological and physical revenge, reshaping the feud's intensity. And then page 38 brings an eccentric, unforgettable hot seat interview with Rick Steiner titled I'm Not So Dumb, I Left the Varsity Club, where Steiner defends his intelligence, mocks the Varsity Club's smugness, and exposes the cracks behind their academic arrogance, presenting Steiner as both comedic and surprisingly self-aware. And page 42 explodes with Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, the Tennessee Violence Authority, a gritty look at the stud stable's reign of terror in the South, where their blend of brutality, manipulation, and cunning has left no one able to halt their march. And then the feature section concludes with one-on-one on page 46, where Kendall Windham clashes with Barry Windham in a brother-against-brother showdown exploring legacy, resentment, and competition within a wrestling dynasty, followed by the massive official wrestling ratings on page 64, ranking the top 15 across 7 major categories, meticulously listing contenders, champions, climbers, and fallers, offering the most detailed snapshot of competitive hierarchy available in any publication. And from there, the Inside Wrestling Roll Call of Champions provides the most comprehensive championship directory fans could find in the pre-internet era, listing every major title holder across the wrestling world. And finally, page 66 closes the book with Blast from the Past, highlighting a moment in wrestling history from years prior to remind readers where the business has been and how far it has come, completing a dense, loud, energizing issue overflowing with reporting, speculation, character studies, territory flavor, and high-stakes drama that defines Inside Wrestling's March 1989 edition as a perfect time capsule for fans and collectors alike.